The RV Show USA. Start living the RV dream today.
Hi everybody, welcome again to my virtual campfire. Alan Warren here, the RV Wingman. And today I want to bring up something that I've been seeing developing like a storm on the horizon. I call it a perfect storm for RVers, and I'd like to know if you see what I see. Before I begin, I want to suggest that most of us think that we are pretty reasonable people, right? I mean, we're not unreasonable, yet you look around, there are unreasonable people all over the place. I think it's important for each one of us to say, wait a minute, stop. When we get latched onto something, when we are excited in a positive way or maybe a negative way, we have a bad experience and we get emotionally involved, it's hard to be reasonable and rational and logical. So I want to talk about this perfect storm. If you're a seller of an RV right now, you probably want to get as much money as possible, right? You want to get as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of hassle and make sure that you get at least enough to pay off your loan. Well, good luck with that. Respectfully, good luck with that. Too many people are very unrealistic when it comes to selling their RV, but they don't think they are. If you're a buyer of an RV right now, you too may be unrealistic. You may be sitting there, chomping at the bit, waiting to take advantage of somebody else's bad, unfortunate situation. And, we all want to get a good deal. But if you think you're waiting until prices drop 50%, 60%, the market's going to fall off a cliff, they're going to almost be giving these RVs away. I respectfully say that ain't going to happen. Again, when you get latched onto something, and I'm the same way, it's hard to unattach yourself, not be so emotional. And that's what I want to talk about. When it comes to selling your RV, it is an emotional thing, especially, for example, if you've had an RV for a long, long time. If you love RVing, and you're probably an old guy like me, or maybe even older, and you've had an RV for a long time, you're probably taking good care of it, right? And you're proud of it. But when you go and try to sell it, you find out it's not worth as much as you think it is. Well, yes, it is. There you go again. Just like me, we can get overly wrapped up in value. My story is not about an RV. It's about a car that I own. I own a classic car. It's an old car, and I love it. It is in perfect, and I mean showroom condition. You sit inside of it, it's like, oh my God, it's like a trip back in time. It is beautiful and perfect. And I talked to a guy not long ago that was working on it. I said, if I tried to sell this thing, what could I get out of it? And he told me, I'm like, what? I was offended. This thing has been babied. It's driven maybe 1,500 miles a year, maybe, just to keep all the belts going, the fluids going, and I take such good care of it. There's no way I'd sell it for what he said the market would be. He goes, well, it's just not people. You may have to find the right buyer. That's the way it is with RVs, especially older RVs that are well taken care of. You go to a dealer, and a dealer that doesn't look at they're not in the market to sell a car like me, like I have. They aren't. They sell numbers, volume. They want to deal with F-150s and Suburbans or whatever. They want to deal with the numbers because they make money in dealing in numbers, not in specialty vehicles. If you have an RV, it's an older RV or even a newer RV, and it's in perfect condition, it is rare. It really is. Most people say, oh, my RV's perfect. It ain't perfect. My car isn't perfect. It's got a couple of little things wrong with it, but you wouldn't know it if I didn't point it out. But to think that everybody ought to believe the same way that I do, everyone ought to see the value in my classic car that I do, is wrong. So guess what I did? I keep it in the garage. I start it up, drive it around the block. Every once in a while, my wife and I drive up, look at our old campground, and I love it. I'm not going to get rid of it. If you own an RV and you're trying to sell it, you're the seller of an RV. I suggest respectfully that you need to unwind. Now, is there somebody out there that will pay me top dollar what I think my classic car is worth? Probably, yes. It's probably not going to happen real fast. It's probably a very limited, small amount of people that are interested in that specific kind of a car. In your case, it may be a smaller number of people that are interested in your specific kind of RV. And if they are interested in it, they may just like that, snap it right up and pay far more than a dealer says that it is worth. But they are the experts at turning numbers. They are. You're the expert at your emotions. You're the expert at taking care of your RV, and you know everything about it, just like I know everything about my classic car. So I see this perfect storm developing. People have been, and sometimes I say it's because of their own accord, their own doing, they have walked into the financial slaughterhouse. And they're just waking up and they're going, oh my God, I owe so much money on this RV. All I want to do is get out of the payments. That's all I want. Well, good luck. You want to win a lottery ticket too? I mean, I'm not trying to be ugly. Will there be somebody that might pay that price? Maybe. But if you're holding on to your RV, because the market's got to turn around. Again, with all due respect, we're entering into the slow season for RV sales. RV sales nationally, new RV sales are down about 50% this year from last year. 50%? That's a lot. And you're competing against brand new RVs. Yeah, but mine's old and yeah, so's my car. And everything works perfect on it. But it's an old RV and my car is old. We've got to get our heads right. Try to not be so emotional. It's okay to be emotional, but you got to balance it. If you're a buyer, try to not be overzealous thinking I'm going to sit back and I'm going to wait till, man, they're giving those things away. And that's what I'm going to do because I'm going to get me a steal on a great RV at a great price with nothing wrong with it. Well, good luck with that. So I had to get this off my chest today. I see a perfect storm developing. More and more used RVs are going to come on the market in the coming months for sale. It's going to be a bloodbath, so to speak. And I hate to say it. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to get you to go, maybe I need to hear this. Now, for you people who are the haters, the trolls, the critics out there, if you're looking for me to speak the wrong way, say something the wrong way, you don't have to listen very long. I'm a very flawed person. I speak from the heart. I speak from experience, and I'm not always right. I want to tell you a story about somebody I did business with a long, long time ago, and I did business with them for decades. Went on a fishing trip with this guy, and we went into a fried chicken place. Fried chicken is one of my weaknesses. I love fried chicken. In fact, if I was in prison, they said, you got one last meal, I'd probably have fried chicken for my last meal. So we go to a fried chicken place, and it wasn't crowded, but so there's some guy back there, and he's just taking his time. And this guy says, I want to speak to the supervisor. And I'm thinking, wow, that's kind of rough. And I just met this guy, and he was so unreasonable, and he was demanding. He was in a position of power, so I had to either leave or understand how he worked. And he worked expecting everybody to do the absolute best. Nothing was ever good enough. And guess what? For 20-something years when I worked with this person, he was pretty much the same way. He was. But I learned to deal with it. I don't think that's the proper way to deal with the public. I don't. I think, as they say, what do you get? More flies with honey than you do with vinegar? But be reasonable. Be logical. Be rational. If you want to hold on to your RV, it may be a while until you can get out of it. I got an email the other day from somebody that said that there were at least $20,000 upside down in their RV, which means they owe $20,000 more than it is worth. But they don't have the $20,000 to give to the bank to release the lien if they do sell it. So they've decided to hold on to it. It costs them $1,020 a month to keep the RV. $1,020 a month between the payments and the storage fees. Can you imagine? For an RV that, and by the way, they said they only use it about once a year. What is this person going to do? I got back to him and I said, that I think holding onto the RV, if you can hold on to it, you can afford it, it's a good idea if you don't have the 20 grand. But the question is, how long do you hold on to it for? You're bleeding out at $1,020 a month. That's a lot, at least it is in my book. But I'm suggesting that we are all, we have our biases. I have my biases as well. I love my car. You probably love your RV. You want to get as much for it as possible. Find people you can trust. The people you can trust are not necessarily the ones that tell you everything you want to hear. Oh yeah, we can get that much for your RV, and it sits and sits and sits. You're trying to look for people, I think, of character, of integrity, that will be honest, not perfect, but honest. I do have RV dealers that I believe are honest. I've vetted them. I've looked into them. I like the way they do business. And generally speaking, I think you can trust them. And there are other good dealers out there. If you'd like to know the RV dealers I trust, a link is in the description of this video below, or you can go to rvdealersitrust.com. Whoever you buy an RV from, I recommend and suggest you download my free RV report. I update it every quarter. Let's see, it's almost the next quarter, almost the fourth quarter. I'll be updating the RV report soon, and you can get it by going to freervreport.com. Put it all together, freervreport.com. In it, you will find ways to save money and prevent you from being ripped off. So let me know what you thought of this video. Are you a seller? Are you a buyer? I want to know, does anybody think they're an unrealistic seller? Not me. I'm just normal. I expect what I want. I want to speak to the supervisor. Or are you somebody that realizes that you can be emotionally, I guess, over the top, as I have to sometimes remind myself? Unfortunately, oftentimes it's after I've already exploded in front of somebody and I feel like a complete oaf. So anyway, thank you for watching today's video. Let me know what you thought about it. Give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and I will see you soon around this virtual campfire. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home. Bye-bye, everybody.